I would like to just show you the agenda of today's webinar so you know what you can expect. First, Adela from Open Society Fund in Prague will explain more about the Stronger Roots program. Then later, my colleague from Glopolis, Jitka Hausenblazová, will tell you more about the transversal collaboration, the network's internal development, and after that will be time for your questions and our answers. Later, we will invite Petr Lenčo from Open Society Foundation in Bratislava, who will tell you more about the practical details of this call. And at the end, we will divide you, or you will divide yourselves, you will see about the instructions into the breakout rooms for the countries, which will be important for you to be able to discuss further the country-specific criteria and ask your questions about the practical details. Now, I would like to give the floor to Adela, who will present you more about the Stronger Roots program.
Thank you, Marketa. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thanks for joining us. I'll start with a few words about the Strong Roots program, in which we aim to support civil society organizations and networks by increasing their resilience and helping them to improve their social capital and improve their stability and their roots in each country. In the program, we work with organizations of different sizes, different geographical scope, and different thematic focus. And what we do is we provide, of course, some funding grants and also an extensive educational program, which has expert and peer support. And this includes consultancy, mentoring, and other workshops or seminars that might be helpful. In this call, we have two different concepts that we work with. The first one is social base building, where we support organizations to build their strong communities of donors, supporters, volunteers, and other people they might want to include. And the second concept is a network and transversal collaboration, where we support partnerships and between divergent stakeholders to work together. And this is why we are meeting here today, and we will get in detail of this. Now, I would also like to say a few words about the Stronger Roots Consortium, which is an international partnership, and there is actually 5 organizations here today giving you this information webinar. And we start in Czechia, which is me and my colleagues, my colleague Pavlina and Milan, who are here today. And in Czechia, we also cooperate with Glopolis, which is Marketa and Jitka. You will get to meet all of us in the special breakout rooms after or during this first period as well. That was Czechia, and then we also have a colleague from Hungary, from NEAC Foundation. Rena is here with us today. And then from Slovakia, there is Petr Lenčo from Nadácia Otvorenej společnosti, and the final partner is from Poland. From Stefan Batory Foundation, there is Inga and Dominika. So that's the whole consortium, and we, as partners, work on this program all together, preparing and executing all the calls and all the program essentials. And my final remark for this intro would be thank you to the European Commission, which is the main donor of this program, from its Citizens, Equality, Rights and Values program. And well, you can see all of our faces on the picture as well, but that's it for me, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you in the breakout room. Thank you. I give back to Marketa.
Yeah. Thank you, Adela. I will now stop sharing my screen and invite Jitka Hausen-Blazová from Glopolis to present the transversal collaboration topic. Thank you. Jitka, you need to unmute yourself.
Yes, thank you very much, Marketa, for reminding me. Great to have you all here. Hello from my side as well. I'm gonna try to summarize main information on what's going on in this pillar, transversal collaboration for CSO networks in the Stronger Roots program. Thank you very much for your questions that you put into the registration form. I wasn't able to understand all of them, but most of them I hope I incorporated in the presentation. But still, if you have any other questions or you feel there is a need to explore more, or then please write in the chat, or there will be a space afterwards to ask me directly. Do we have, Marketa, a time for the video, or we are running out of time?
We have time.
Okay, great. So I'm going to share with you a video which we recorded with some of the former grantees from the Stronger Roots program. And I don't know why, but I cannot now move my slides. Okay, it should be working now.
Stronger Roots nám umožňuje moc se soustředit na témata, které jsou pro nás jako pro platformu pro sociální bydlení klíčové. Umožňuje nám se soustředit na advokaci kolem sociálního a dostupného bydlení, moc se na to skutečně zaměřit v nějakém dlouhodobém měřítku a dosáhnout i cílů, které nejsou okamžitě zaznamenatelné, ale které třeba můžou trvat nějaký čas, než se zlepší.
Program Stronger Roots pre nás v prvom rade znamená, že máme väčšiu kapacitu na to, aby sme robili veci, ktorým sa už dlhodobo venujeme. Vnímam ten program ako taký mnohovrstvový, že nie je to iba o tom samotnom našom projekte, ale vstupuje tam vlastne aj tá donorská organizácia, aj tie ostatné organizácie, ktoré sú v grantovej schéme zapojené.
Thanks to the program, we began to look differently on representatives and officers in the public sector, not as necessarily as opponents, because as you might imagine Hungary, they can be opponents, but as possible partners.
Z začátku jsme to brali tak, že nám naše spolupracující organizace poskytují především značku a nějakou společenskou legitimitu skrz jejich činnost. Teď se snažíme aktivněji pracovat i s tím, že i oni sami můžou podnikat advokační činnost, i oni sami nám můžou připomínkovat řadu materiálů, které vydáváme, a skrz to je aktivizujeme směrem k tomu, aby boj za dostupnější a lepší bydlení v České republice byl i jejich bojem.
Mnoho vstupov, ktoré sme v programe Stronger Roots dostali, nám pomohlo pozrieť sa na tú našu sieť oveľa v takom širšom merítku, na čo sme predtým vôbec nepomysleli, alebo sme ani nemali vedomosť o tom, že z akých rôznych uhlov pohľadu by sme sa na to naše fungovanie mohli pozerať. Určite aj my teraz máme oveľa širší pohľad na to, ako s tou sieťou našou môžeme ďalej pracovať.
Co bych určitě jako vyzdvihl, je, že to není jenom o finanční a materiální podpoře, ale dostáváme i poradenství, které je pro nás jako užitečné, a dostáváme i možnosti konzultací vlastně s odborníky a odbornicemi v jejich oborech, které nás následně posouvají dál, abychom se v naší práci jako zlepšili.
Glopolis is very interested and involved in the grantees programs.
Už počas písania toho projektu som si vravela, že je úplne úžasné, že existuje výzva zameraná pre strešné organizácie. Veľmi by som chcela vyzdvihnúť tú podporu, ktorá prichádza od Glopolisu, lebo to nie je iba o tej finančnej podpore, ale o rôznych konzultáciách, a tiež mi príde úplne úžasné stretávať sa s inými grantistami, ktorí možno sa venujú úplne inej téme, ale zároveň si všetci vzájomne hovoríme, že tie naše problémy sú vlastne veľmi podobné, aj keď každý rieši úplne inú tému, a zdieľanie tých skúseností je veľmi cenné.
Great. So this video I played just so you have an overall idea of what's going on in the program. It works now. Thank you. And now we're going back to the content of the program. So why we are all doing this? Why the network transversal collaboration? Basically, the idea of the whole program is to bridge the gaps there in our societies between people, organizations, institutions, and so our society become less polarized. As the networks, we believe they make some kind of natural bridges between individuals and collective action efforts. They are more able to bridge these gaps, especially if they work more with very different or only a bit different stakeholders towards the same, the common goal. So we believe that if you as networks engage with diverse stakeholders, you are working on some systemic change or a community change. Thanks to the collaboration, this process of collaboration can make it better, less fragmented society and less polarized. The goal of the call for proposal, or basically there are two goals of the call for proposals. One of them, or the primary one, is to strengthen the collaboration and develop close relationships between the CSO networks and diverse or divergent external stakeholders. I will explain later on what do we mean by external stakeholders. And the other one, accordingly important, is to enhance internal development and closer collaboration among the network members. As I said, both areas are important for us, and it's really important that if you're writing your application or you aim to write your application, you really focus on both of them. What is network transversal collaboration? It might seem a bit strange for you, but basically, I believe it's nothing new, and most of you as networks are already engaged with some kind of collaboration. Basically, it's a collaboration where you as a network strategically engage with some other actors, stakeholders that are different. They differ in approach, differ in their interest or worldviews, and they tackle the same issue as you, but they have a different opinion on that. It could be, for instance, interests that are different. Business has different interests than CSO network or NGOs. It could be a difference in the objectives or values. For instance, you have different values than state administration office, or levels of influence. You have different levels of influence than government, for instance. Or the difference can be also ideological. Let's say you are working on some very polarized issue, such as climate change or equal rights for disadvantaged minorities. So that would be an ideological gap that you need to bridge in order to get some agreement with the other actor or the other groups of actors. What is not network transversal collaboration in the sense we are talking about? It's not about persuading others. So it should be really a collaboration where both of the actors are engaged. It's not only one-sided when you talk to someone and you need to persuade him or her. And also, it's not about target groups. We rather talk about partners or potential partners when it's not already a partner, respecting their interests, their needs, and their limitations might be. This is also why we are asking in the application or in the concept note about the needs and interests and limitations of the stakeholders that you are choosing. because it's important for the potential collaboration. It's also not a one-off project, but rather a long-term effort. Usually when we support networks, they are already engaged with some kind of engagement or collaboration with their partners. So ideally it should be something you already doing or you are planning to do, and it's like kind of natural activity in your network. Definitely it's also not about raising awareness nor education. That means that we don't really want to support huge information campaigns or direct work with your clients, for instance, or with the clients of your members. What stakeholders are considered as external stakeholders in this call? It could be state institutions, for example, ministries, other governmental institutions run by ministries or some other state entities. It could be members of parliament, political parties, members of regional governments, regional authorities, even local municipalities. It could be also private companies, their business associations, or other civil society organizations, meaning NGOs or NGO networks. When we talk about collaboration or engagement, sometimes we differ between collaboration and engagement because we think that collaboration already requires some kind of stage where you are kind of partners, but before on the earlier level of collaboration, let's say it's only an engagement when you just share the information or you're starting some kind of dialogue. So we created this scale just to simplify in theory this process. So it's just kind of model where we can see that at the beginning usually there is no direct interaction with the partner or potential partner. Then the next level could be information sharing from both sides. It could be moved further on to dialogue, joint activities, or even partnership. And the end vision, joint vision or strategy, that would be an ultimate goal of this simplified collaboration scale. Why I'm talking about it is because during or under this call for proposal, we would like to see, no matter in which stage you are, it doesn't really matter, we would like to see some shift. So maybe you are engaged with, I don't know, some kind of a partner, it could be a business, and you just share some kind of information, you meet 2 times a year. So the shift for you would be that after this 1.5 year project, you would end up in, let's say, some joint project or more intense dialogue. You don't have to really get to the end level, which would be a joint vision or strategy. That's really probably not realistic for you. But it's important that some change will happen during the project. It depends which kind of what kind of topic you are dealing with, or how much your partner is divergent, meaning how much their views on your topic is different. So if you really focus on very polarizing topic, then obviously you can expect that you are not going to move so much. The same will happen with some kind of actor or some kind of partner who is very different. Let's say you have a government which is opposing to your topic, which is different opinion. So you also can expect that you're not gonna progress so much. So really we will, or the commission who is looking at the proposals, take this into account, like how the topic is difficult, how the partners are different, and how the partners are difficult to collaborate with. And also, what is the stage of the discussion? If you're starting at the point zero, let's say no direct interaction, also probably your progress will not be so huge, but still some kind of progress is expected. If you choose to work with other CSOs or other NGO networks or individual NGOs, this is also something worth mentioning, because as I said at the beginning, the program should lead to some kind of depolarizing or defragmentation of the society. And that means that if you choose NGOs as a partner, it is expected that they would be really different from you. They would not be the partners you are normally collaborating with, or someone who shares your view on the topic, someone who is like kind of your ally, or in touch with you in your daily life, or in your daily agenda. So it should be someone with really very different opinion, on very different views on the topic you are dealing with. So you can jointly or together make a difference in the end to set an agreement on certain issue. Also, it depends on the country where you are, on the political context, of course. Let's say in Hungary, it's more difficult to collaborate on the governmental level. So we are really welcoming also collaboration on the municipal level, the community level, also collaboration within the NGOs, bridging the gaps within the society, within the civic society. There was one question, someone asked if it's necessary to engage state institutions. So no, you can choose from all those groups that I showed before: state institutions, regional authorities, private companies, or other CSOs. As for the other goal of the call for proposal, the internal consolidation of networks, or internal strengthening of the network, you can basically suggest or include any activities that will lead your network make more impact, will be much more resilient and capable of meaningful engagement with your members. So all of the activities that you include in your project should contribute to your goals, the goals of your network, and should reflect the needs that your network has now. Of course, your members have now. So this is a very open area, and mainly the activities that strengthening your network internally are going to be supported. Here are some tips for writing the proposals. I think it's very crucial that you know your long-term vision, and you know where the collaboration is heading. We are also asking about your strategy goals in the project applications, so we can somehow see if the project is in line with the vision and the strategy goals. Because we don't want to support just a project that will be over and then nothing is going to happen in the future. Also think about what you need now as a network, and where can you get in those 2 years, I mean in 1 year and a half. So this is important to focus also on your goals and activities which are achievable in this 1 year and a half. It's not so much, but we really want to see or hear, where this gonna lead, what will be the change before, when you start, and after when you finished. Think also about the interests of the stakeholders, because if you choose a stakeholder that we think, or the commission selection committee would think it's very difficult to collaborate with, and you don't have an idea why they should be willing to collaborate, what is the benefit for the collaboration at their side, then it would be very strange, or it would be very difficult for you to see, to engage with the collaboration later on. Think also about their needs, because we said that the collaboration is two-sided process. So this is not just for you, but also what they need, what they are struggling with, and what they can get from the collaboration and your project, basically. Focus please also on the qualitative engagement rather than quantitative. There were questions like, how many stakeholders do we need to involve? So there is no limit. Well, actually, the minimum limit would be one stakeholder. And also there is no maximum limit, but it's better if you choose a reasonable number. There were projects in the past, there were only 2 partners, and it was really okay. It was meaningful. Of course, could be different if you focus on the CSOs or on the municipal level. Then you have maybe, if you're working on the community level, you want to engage with some municipal offices, then it's reasonable that you choose in the region few of them, and it's okay, but please make it rather less than more. Just please answer also all the sub-questions in the concept notes. They are all of them important. Okay, and the changing slides doesn't work anymore again. Yes, okay. Now I just want to make sure we understand the expected results of the projects. This is very important because sometimes we get applications where it's not really clear what will be the result of the project. I mean, to collaborate just for the sake of collaboration is not really fine, and we want to see some result in the end, which has an impact on the society or community that you are working with or within. So please be really specific, and I put some examples. Of course, this is very few of them, so you may have totally different ones. So we had a network that was collaborating with the ministry, and as a result, the ministry adopted a new policy on the topic. Of course, this is a very ideal situation, and sometimes you are not on this level, so any other results would be fine, such as an agreement on how to proceed with the policy, or an agreement with a political party that your topic will get, or your solution of the topic or of the problem will get to their political programs, for example. When I was thinking about the example of the internal consolidation or internal strengthening of the network, we had one network that their project result was they make more participatory the work of the network functioning for small members. So they were more engaged finally in the decision making of the whole network. Again, it was clearly visible because at the beginning of the project, or before the project started, the small members were not really so much involved in the decision making of the network, and in the end, they were somehow involved much better than at the beginning, definitely, and they can also they can evidence it with the numbers of the meetings, and there were some statements coming from the member organizations that the process of involving them in the network is much better now and works better now for them. This is just some leading questions which you should answer for yourself when you are thinking about the project, whether the project will contribute to progressing your strategy goals, whether it will contribute to improving the relationships or advancing the engagement with the chosen stakeholders, whether your understanding of the context in which you are operating will get better, and the ways of networking or working with the stakeholders, and whether somehow you will be able to internally consolidate the network, strengthen the network, make your network more efficient. I chose some case studies or case stories from the previous networks that were supported in the last 2 cycles of the program. One of them was a Green NGO Cooperation Network from Hungary, which focused on environmental protection. And this is an example where the network focused on collaboration within the civil society. So they were reaching out to other NGOs and CSOs, informal groups as well. They mainly engaged with church-based and youth groups, so they became new members, and so they became more involved in the environmental protection movement in Hungary. The reason was because they felt that this movement is getting older, and they were in need of having some young blood in their structures, and also they felt that it's necessary they have some conservative voices also within the movement, because they were more liberal in general. So they organized individual interviews, group interviews, a lot of meetings. They also obtain a new PR strategy to get new groups coming in their movements, in their network. And as a result, we could see that their advocacy potential was much higher, because they had they were much more diverse as a network, and of course they had much more groups which could be also advocates for the environmental protection in Hungary, and also more representatives toward the government, which was previously arguing that the environmental protection network in Hungary is very liberal. So now they had some kind of opposing argument for them, like, see, we have also these conservative groups in our movement. So all of this was a successful case, which was supported in the first round of Stronger Roots program. And I have also another one, a bit different. It was an association of organization working in penal affairs in Czech Republic, and they were basically focusing on criminal and penal justice and prison conditions in the Czech Republic. And their main focus of the project was so the integration of people with living experience from prison gets better, and after they leaving the prison, the integration didn't work so well so far. So they were trying to collaborate with the state institution, which is called General Directorate of the Prison Service, And this is a very, very divergent partner because they have this hierarchical structure, and it's basically not so much different from an army. And they at the beginning were not really in good terms with them. They were not considered as a partner. So they were mainly working on establishing some kind of partnership with this institution, and it was not very easy. Also during the process, they had to mm, get some consensus within the network because some members were actually not happy with the strategy they choose. So in the end, they had less members when the project finished than in the beginning. But those members who stayed were in line with that, and eventually they reached some kind of joint project with the prison service. So this was a huge success, also thanks to the COVID situation, which was is because they were just lucky because this situation was happening. But I wanted to say also, I wanted to mention the members, the number of members. Sometimes when we see the networks working on certain topic, and it's natural that some members are leaving. So like the number of members, for instance, doesn't have to be always the indicator, which is saying that we are a better network because we have more members than at the beginning. But actually, if you have low members, sometimes it could mean that you're better consolidated networks. All the members that are in your networks kind of agree with your vision, and you're on the same boat working together. And let me share the last one from Slovakia. It was a network, Antenna, a network for an independent culture. Their member organizations are independent culture centers in Slovakia throughout the country. They mainly collaborate with the state institution, which is called Art Support Fund under the Ministry of Culture, and the project just ended 1 month ago. And their vision, or their goal of the project was to get more support for this for the culture centers, so the culture centers can work more independently, have more stable funding from the fund, and so they engaged all of their members. They also engaged the director and management of the fund in their strategic planning. So the representative of the fund were actually involved in the network strategic planning creation. And this is a very complicated case because the political situation in Slovakia changed during the project. So in the end, they didn't really get where they wanted to get, but they were still engaged with the fund, and the relationship was much better, at least with those people who they were collaborating with. So this is mainly what I wanted to share. How much time do I have, Marketa?
Now you have reached the end of the time for presentation, but we will still have 20 minutes for questions, so you can finish the presentation.
Okay, thank you. So I just wanted to talk about last slide, where I wanted to summarize the expert and peer support program which we are offering within the Stronger Roots program, so you know what to expect. We also mentioned it in the call for proposal, but just want to make sure that you understand. So we are running this as an international program. That means that mainly we're meeting on the international level. All of the countries, all of the networks from all the 4 countries are meeting. There is a kickoff meeting in each country. This one is on the national level and separated, but the other workshops and meetings are joined. We will have most probably 3 2 days workshops in Prague, Bratislava, and Budapest or Warsaw. Then we will have few of online workshops during this 1 year and a half, and we also offer some individual expert consultancy and some regular calls where we can share your issues, your progress, and whatever you are dealing with during the project. So it's quite intense, and it's important that you expect this. And here, just to sum up some information sources where you can get more information if you're interested in. I will share the presentation afterwards with you, so you will have it and you can check it. That's all from me now. So please, if you have any questions, you can ask directly. That would be the best. Or you can write it in the chat as well.
Yes, thank you, Jitka. Like you said during the presentation, we went through your questions written in the registration forms to see what you are interested in, and Jitka covered most of them in the presentation already. A lot of questions repeated. So now is your chance to ask something that wasn't answered during the presentation. Also, you might notice that there really, if you are here, who wrote the question in the registration form and didn't get the answer.
Yes, Martina, please ask.
You see it.
Yes, hello, my name is Martina. I'm from the newly created food ad platform in Slovakia. Our goal is basically to create a sustainable food redistribution system in Slovakia, because currently it's very limited and it's not working sustainably and consistently. What I wanted to ask is that in the presentation you Jitka mentioned that it's mainly about the domestic partners. What we are thinking about, and it will probably be for the individual consultation as well, is that we would like to a lot more engage with one organization here in Slovakia who is currently somehow covering the system of food distribution. But it's not enough and it's limited, and there are limitations that we see. And through building partnerships and and dialogue and making this organization not passive but cooperative, we as Slovakia could get to the Federation of Food Banks and so on. So my question is whether the stakeholder can also be from abroad, or it can be a European organization covering European countries and so on.
Okay, thank you for this question. No, mainly we only want to support the domestic partners.
Okay.
We wrote in the offer proposal that among the eligible activities, you can, if you have a partner abroad, let's say, I don't know, European Commission or any other European network, you can consult with them. You can ask for advice. But mainly we really want to focus on the domestic partners, on the domestic issues, and also if you also we don't really want to support transnational or cross-national partnerships. So this is all the projects should happen in all of those countries, like independently. If
okay.
It's clear.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Jitka. Next question was from Alexandra Magrita.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. It was very interesting and helpful to understand more about the project. And I do have one question. We as network, we are, maybe I will say a few words about us. We are the network of a lot of organizations, formal and non-formal, based in Poland. And we, our aim is to help women and persons in reproductive health and rights, and sexual rights, of course. And we do have question, if we have in our members coalition, some of the women councillor, there are some kind of council run at the president's offices in different cities. So if we have a few of them in our coalition and we want to spread this coalition through working with more of these women's councils, so could it be that we say that our stakeholders will be these women councils, or it's not correct?
It's really difficult to answer this question because I mean you can choose the I believe they're NGOs, or it's
These women councils are not really NGOs. They are like this group of women which help presidents to follow right decisions. This is like the consultations councils.
Okay, so it's like an expert body, or
Yes, exactly.
okay. Well, I would need to know more, but you know, if it's belongs under one of the fourth category, like is it state institution, or I don't really know. But you know, what is most important is the goal. Like it's difficult to say that you want to engage with them, but what would be, you know, what would be the result, you know, of the collaboration? I mean, if you and if it's enough strong, if I put it like that, if you have I don't know what is the issue you want to solve, but then you are there any other actors that could, you know, deal with that, or you know, let's say you want to focus on the reproductive rights, and maybe they are not going to help you so much as someone else, I don't know, you know. So these things are good to consider, but I can give you an answer right now because I don't know what is this body exactly, so that would be first of all for individual consultation.
Yeah, so maybe that's the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Next one was Terezie Hradílková. Sorry, Terezie, yes.
Yes. Thank you. I am a chairwoman of the unit for the institutionalization in Czech Republic, and we are now involved in to support the people with disabilities to be a part of society, of course, but the communities, real communities. And I have question that I understood that the project should focus on both the internal potential of the organization and the dealing with external actors or stakeholders. So basically both. And is there some recommended ratio or between the strengthening the internal organization via umbrella organization, of course, and between the external cooperation with stakeholders?
Yes, I see. Well, it should be more or less equal, like more or less, because I understand that sometimes it's difficult to, so I wouldn't say it's like 50-50%, but more or less equal. And in some in some cases, where there's really a reason for having, you know, more collaboration and less, I don't know, it could be a case where the networks works perfectly fine. They do not have so much, you know, work internally, and then they can probably, you know, focus more on collaboration. So in these kind of justified cases, slightly more of one of the part, but in general, try to have it like more or less equal. I mean, more or less, right? We're not gonna count the budget items, you know, how much you put here and there. But if we see that it's like I don't know, a network in Czech Republic focusing only on internal development, and there's no or very little collaboration, then we would ask why, because here still you can still, you know, engage with collaboration with a lot of actors. So
yes, thank you. I am happy for this
I just want to answer one question in the chat to highlight some differences between the present call and the one in 2023. It's important because I believe there are many networks that also applied in the previous call. The main difference is that we focus now the internal consolidation of the networks. It's an inherent part of the call for proposal. Before it was there, but not so much. So now it's like really, this is different. And also the difference is that in the last call for proposal, we supported only state institutions to work with. Now the portfolio of stakeholders is, as you've seen, is much more open, much more diverse. So there could be a business, there could be also the other NGOs and CSOs. So these are two main differences.
Thank you, Jitka. Now Eliška Drusanová raised her hand.
Yes, hi. I am from Czech Women's Lobby, and we have got like lots of priorities. And I want to ask, according to cooperation with external stakeholders, if it's like better to have like general topic that will cover it or a specific solution. For example, do we choose a general theme of civil society resilience after the election and gather different stakeholders, or would it be better to choose more specific theme with a specific outcome?
It's very difficult to answer. It's really on you. It's really up to you. What is the most important issue for you right now to deal with? I would say we really can't say, and this is very, very general, you know. So even if I knew, I wouldn't be able to tell you. So yeah, you really should decide yourself what kind of topic you want to cover.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and I can see that Martina Machanková still has the raised hand, but it's the previous one. Okay, so no more questions. Thank you. And the last question that now appeared in the chat is from Blanka Dvořáková.
Yes, I think this. Sorry, Markéta. This would be covered in the breakout rooms. All the admin, all the costs, and all the financing stuff and administration. This would be talked about in the breakout rooms.
Exactly. Thank you. So if no one else has any questions, we can proceed to giving the floor to our colleague Petr Lenčo from Slovakia, who will exactly now talk about the practical details, eligibility criteria of the call, and so on. And he will also maybe mention this. So thank you, Peter.
Good morning and hello, everyone. Can you hear me and can you see the presentation?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for the feedback. I've spoken to a few people this morning, and the feedback I receive is that this Monday is quite difficult for many people. So let's engage you a bit, because I can also see your faces, not very smiley and very concentrated. So at the bottom, you can see the reaction. So please push the button how you feel and get the other people to see what is the mood in this virtual room. You can do it now, just some quick energizer. There should be small heart at the bottom. Yeah, with the reaction, nice. Okay, so I will continue with some practicalities of the call. And yeah, some smiley faces, nice. It's boost the energy in the room. I will give only the brief explanation because we will go more into the detail in the breakout rooms, because there are some differences in each country. So I will stick to the general rules of the call. As we already heard, that there could be two different categories of activities aimed at external partners, but also strengthening the network internally. I will not go into it. And this is more maybe important. Then can be only one proposal per the organization submitted to this call. But of course, if you see the opportunity in the another call, social-based building, this time organization can submit one project to each call. The budget of the project it is also important for you to know how much money you can ask or you can gain, because that's also shapes how the activities in the project. The minimum grant is 20,000 euro, so you should ask at least for 20,000 euro, and the maximum is 35,000 euro. So this will give you some framework how big you can dream and plan for your project. And also the other important part of this is that each project will last 1.5 years. And each project will start in January 2026, and each project will end in June 2027. So you really need to plan for 18 months. This is also linked to the capacity building program, which will happen at the same time for every participating organization. With the money we have dedicated for this grant called, we expect the support from 4 to 10 projects in each country. I expect it will be around 4 and 5 in each country, as usually every organization is reaching out to the maximum sum dedicated to project support. I'm not going to read the eligible activities because they are listed in the call for proposal, and Jitka was mentioning many of them in her presentation. But this also gives you the overview how to prepare your project, what activities you can plan. And again, it also helps you to remind that there are two parts. You should plan activities to work with external partners, different meetings, preparing the analysis, counting time on preparing the recommendations to the new laws, meeting with them. And for the internal consolidation of network, again, different meetings, different various discussion, surveys among the members, and creating the shared strategy or vision. There are so many options. What is also important to have in mind is that the list of activities in the call for proposal is suggested activities. But if there are some activities which are not listed, and it makes sense for you and for the whole project to include them, you are also welcome to come up with your own activities. If you want to be sure, if you are not thinking too big or out of the scope of what we want to support, you can still consult with us if the activities will be eligible for your project. I will not speak in detail about the budget, because we don't ask at this stage. We don't ask for the detailed budget of your project. But again, to create the good project, you also need to consider the budgetary issues. What is good in this project is that you can use up to 80% of the grant to cover personal costs, and especially for networks, it's mostly about people who are putting their time and effort into the work. So you can use up to 80% of grant to pay people for their work. But also you can count on covering other expenses, like when you organize meeting, conference, when you need to pay some other external experts to help you with facilitation or contribute with their expertise. And also there is a set limit of 7% of the grant, which will be which you can use for indirect costs, like pay the rent for your offices, or accountant services, or whatever services which you need to cover for your operation. Also, within this grant, we have 3 elements. All the organizations and project must be in line with European values. We also try to respect and include gender equality and non-discrimination in the projects. And for organizations who are directly working or within their project, they can be directly working with children, young people, and vulnerable adults. They also need to respect and protect their rights. Eligibility criteria for submitting the project. the project can come from organizations which are officially registered or operating in Czechia, Hungary, Poland, and Slovakia. We have seen in the registration that some other international organizations are interested in this call, but only those organizations who are operating in these countries can join the call. This is a bit tricky thing. Maybe you can review it in your national languages. Who can apply? It's a network which is registered or exists for at least 6 months as a legal entity, or its member organization which is registered 1 year prior to the deadline. I think I will skip here. In most cases, the networks are already registered as an NGO, but in some cases, and in some countries also, there is a network which operates more on informal level, and this is also okay for us. For example, this last round in Slovakia, we had a network of organization working on the issues of homelessness, and they didn't have registration. And part of the project was to create the formal organization. So in this case, one of the member organization of the informal network could apply on behalf of the network. So yeah, I will go back to the presentation. What is also, and if the network was informal and recently gained registration, the registration must be at least for half a year. Or if the network still operates as an informal, its member can apply, but this member must be operating formally at least for 1 year. Okay, I will stop this explanation. Let's keep it for the national groups. What is important, you need to have at least 7 civil society members in your network, in your country. I already seen the question in the registration that, for example, this is the very good example. If the Scout organization operating on the national level has its branches across the country in the regions, and they are also registered as independent entities, this is not for us considered as a platform or umbrella organization. For us, the platform is uniting the different organizations and not the lower entities within the organizational structures. Yeah. The other thing is that we expect that those who will be involved in reporting and the capacity building program must have certain level of English language. As you can see, we have also different language skills. You don't have to be afraid, but you have to be able to communicate in English throughout the project. And not all the team must be able to communicate in English. And the last important thing is that only those organizations who have not previously gained grant for transversal collaboration of networks can submit the project in this call. So those who were already supported in transversal collaboration cannot apply again. Those who applied and were not successful are very welcome to improve their project and apply again. So this I already covered. And also there are some non-eligible organizations. These are the organizations who are especially connected to political parties and religious organizations. This is a bit tricky because especially, for example, in Slovakia, and I assume in Poland, we have quite a big history of NGOs affiliated to the church or religion. Those who are independently established can apply, but they cannot include the religious activities in the grant. So it must be transversal collaboration activities. What is the application process? We have the 2-stage application process. We also value your time and energy. So we decided that in the first round of the call for application, we want present a brief concept note, and those who are high quality elaborated and click the most with what we want to support will be invited for the development of the full proposals, and also then we will include the budget in the second stage. Besides the application form, where you have the exact questions we want you to answer, we are asking for annual report from the last year and for the financial report from the last year. But as we all are aware that, and also in the criteria, it says that if the organization operates at least for 6 months, in some cases, you can present not the official annual and financial report, but you can just write the summary of the latest activities and the summary of your budget. But this will be answered more in detail in the national languages, if this is the case for your organization. The deadline closes on the 16th of June 2025, and we had some problems. Do remember that the closing time is 1 p.m., so 1 hour after the lunch. On Monday, 16 June, we will close the system for submitting the project. Some were counting that they can submit the project until the midnight, and then they were disappointed that their project is not dealt with. When we receive the project, we will do the administrative check. That means we will check if we receive all the information we were asking for. If not, for example, someone will not submit the annual report, or will submit the annual report from 2023, we will write you are not out of the game. We will write you and ask for the proper documents. Usually we will ask to send it to us within 3 days. Then there is eligibility check. We will check if each organization fulfills the criteria for submitting the proposal, which I was just mentioning and then when everything is okay, we will evaluate the proposal as such. There could be two ways how to evaluate. Usually we will assign the proposals to 2 evaluators, and if they differ in their scoring more than 30%, we will ask for the 3rd evaluation. But if there is a small number of applications, usually up to 30, the committee which finally decides about the projects the members of the community will already be evaluators who will review the project and assign the scores. But you can be sure that at least 2 people will evaluate your project, and then with the scores it will go to the committee. There will be an extra step for those who will pass to the 2nd round. Those who will, the shortlisted organization will be also invited for the short interview, but you will be notified very in advance so you can adjust your program accordingly. In the call for proposal, you can see the detailed criteria for the evaluation, and these are the exact criteria which will be used by the evaluators and the final committee. So please go through all the criteria and check your proposal if you cover all to what we are looking for. Here I listed only the main categories. We will check if the project is relevant to this code. We will also check how your project addressed the transversal collaboration focus, how it addressed the internal development of the network, and then the overall quality of the project and its coherence. There was a question, what is new in this round of the call for proposals? We also set the threshold 60 points, so the project needs to get at least 60 points to be further discussed and go to the committee meeting. This is also important to the timetable, because not all this information are probably covered in the call. you can consult your project up to 10th of June 2025. This date is also set for, so we have a time to really respond to your queries, because some organizations are preparing their project in very last few days, and if they come across to something which they are not sure, sometimes we don't have the capacity to respond in very short time, like 2-3 days before the deadline. So if you send us your queries until the 10th of June, you can be sure you will receive the response. After this date, more probably we will also try to consult with you, but we cannot assure it will really happen. Deadline, I already stressed that it's 16 June, 1 p.m. Until the end of June, there will be the administrative and eligibility check. The evaluation process will be done in July and August. So that means the evaluators and the committee meetings. Those who will pass for the full application will be notified at the beginning of September, and you will have 4 weeks to finalize the application form. What is good, we are not asking for the completely new application form. We are asking for the development of the concept note you already submitted. And you will also receive short feedback from the committee and evaluators. How can you improve your project? There will also be a webinar for those who will be invited for the full application. Then the full application will be evaluated in October and the first weeks of November. There will be also interviews, probably the first weeks of November, and the result should be somewhere around the mid-November or the second half of November. Those who will finally get the grant will work with us on the contract. So everything should be closed until the hopefully mid-December or at least the end of December. And then you will also receive the grants. This goes to the question from the chat. We try to mostly pre-finance your project. So the usual practice is that 60% of the grant you will receive at the beginning of the project. The other 30% you received after the midterm reporting, and the final 10% when your final report is approved. So you should have quite a good cash flow to implement your project based on the pre-financing. Okay, and these are informations for the Slovak already.
Okay, thank you, Peter, very much for sharing the practical details. Now I will just summary up for you. I hope you are seeing my screen.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. So as Peter mentioned, there is all the practical information, eligibility criteria and everything in the handbook, the call for proposals in your native languages. You can still join the individual and the group consultations, so make sure you don't miss that. And this concludes the group webinar for everyone, the joint webinar for everyone. And we will invite you to divide yourselves in the breakout rooms. I will ask Adela to help with that. And just a quick last reminder, please fill in the evaluation forms we will send out. Thanks to that, you will also get the link to the folder with all the documents from today. And thank you for your time and good luck with